Today I'm introducing to you a brand new device from a company called Station PC, and this is called the PocketCloud. This is a device that you can take on the go with you and back up your files anywhere you are on the go. So let's take a look. So what is the PocketCloud device? Well, the PocketCloud is a storage device that you can take on the go with you and back up your pictures and videos while you're on the go, making sure you have a second backup that's safe. You simply just pop in an SD card or a USB drive and it will back up the device for you automatically. It also acts like a media server like Plex, so you can watch your TV shows and movies, and you can also remotely back up your PC and even use it with Time Machine. This feature will be coming in a future release. With this device, you can back up in a few different ways. You can do full backups, you can have selected backups, and you can even transfer between the two SSDs that are built into each of these devices. And for those that wanted to know what the tech specs are, it has a 3200 mAh battery, 2 gig of RAM, 32 gig eMMC storage inside. It has an ARM G52 GPU inside, Wi-Fi 6, and a 0.96 inch display. Let's jump straight into the unboxing, and we'll start with the main device itself. So this is the PocketCloud, and if we have a look on the box itself, it says batteries, the SD card, M.2 SSD, it has Wi-Fi 6 and USB 3.0. So we can take this out, and this is the tiny device itself. If we take it out of its wrapping, so on the device itself, you'll see a few things. We have USB Type-C, an SD card slot, USB 3.0, and this, I assume, is the pins to get it docked. We have a turn wheel right here, which we'll take a look at what that does shortly. And at the top it says Station PC, which is the branding. It's small, it's lightweight, and it's quite portable. So before we open this up and have a look at the contents inside, let's look at the rest of the accessories. So we have a power plug, we have a USB-C to USB-C cable if you want to get it charged. We have a screwdriver so we can get inside it. And I think that's all that comes inside this box. We have the docking station, which comes in, again, an instruction manual inside. And this is it right here. So you can see this is where the pins are, where it sits to charge. There's another screwdriver at the bottom, which is nicely tucked away, so you don't need to worry about that, but you can open this up, and again, we'll have a look at that shortly. On the side, we have a USB-C cable and we have a LAN cable. So if you don't want to connect it via Wi-Fi, you can connect it via a gigabit port right here. And we have a USB 3.0. Inside the pack, you do get a Ethernet cable as well, so if you need one of those. And finally, the last couple of accessories, we have a Station PC case, which you can see we can store it inside here with all the cables, and we have a silicone protective cover. So this can sit around here and keep it protected when you are on the go. If we physically take a look at this device, and I've gone ahead and pre-opened these already, so the actual device itself has a fan built in just here. So we have an SSD installed here, and the good thing about this is if your battery ever dies out or you feel like they don't hold as much charge anymore, you can go ahead and replace these batteries as you wish. So these batteries built in here, they give you 6 days worth of continuous usage or 20 days worth of standby time. But if you find that is degrading after a while, you can go ahead and very easily change those. There isn't really too much else that you can see on here, but we have the SSD that we can replace with any drive that you require. So I'll quickly show you how I remove that. It is literally just a case of popping this in. You can use the screwdriver included like this and tighten it up. And there we go. That's all put back together and ready to go. In terms of the dock, this is where the dual SSD comes in. So we have another one that we can install here. So I have a 250 gig Kingston drive in here. This just sits on the bottom of this. I can pop this straight back on. So we can stick that there and we can put these screws back in. And then we can pop this on here and this sits like there, like so. In terms of sitting, it does feel fairly robust. It's not going to fall off very easily. It just sits into place and we'll let that go off and charge. Now we have this plugged in and set up. There's a couple of things you can do to get this going. So the first thing is to download the app, and you can download that from the App Store, and in the instruction guide there's a QR code in there. You can go and scan it from there too. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it, and you can see the app that I've downloaded here, which we will cover in just a few moments. I want to show you some of the basics of what you can do with this. So I'll pop this to the side and we'll undock the device right here, and you'll probably see straight away that there's a little screen that pops up on here. I didn't mention this earlier because it hadn't been charged. So you can see we have the USB drive, we have the SD card backup, we have the settings, so what percentage it is, how much space you've used, and what the total space is there. So 304 meg used, 954 gigabytes left, and we're connected via Wi-Fi at the moment. You also have the device info where you can go into here. You can see the model, the serial number, the version we're using, and the network we're connected to. And again, you can download the app. The QR code is right there as well. So we go back and let me show you what we can do. So just imagine you're a creator on the go, you have an SD card with you, and we can pop this straight in here. And as soon as we pop this in, you can see that it says SD card has been inserted. Do you want to back up? So you can either click back, or you can just say, yeah, okay, I want to back this up. And we'll let that go, and it's going to go off and calculate now, and we can leave that for a few minutes and let it do its thing. So it is currently doing 40 megabytes per second at this point. It's probably going to take about 6 minutes. And just to let you know that the screen does have a gyroscope in it. So if I flip it the other way, you can see the screen is now the other side now as well. So we have all of these, and we'll do a test with the USB also in a second, and then we'll dive into the PC app and the phone app to see how it all works. Now, I said I would come to this part after, but I want to show you this. I wanted to test to see if we can do multiple items at the same time. So I have the SD card, you'll probably see on the screen right now, backing up right here, and I've plugged in the USB drive, and that's also kicking off now as well. So you can see specifically how long it's going to take for each of those, and how many files it's actually transferred. So the top one's done 102 files, and the bottom one's done 8 files. And if you want to browse, you can click on the SD card itself and go into it, and then you can start browsing through some of the folders if you wish to do so. While that USB is still backing up, we're going to go and take a look at the application now itself, and you can see it here. We have the PocketCloud 9001, and you can go and rename that in the settings, which I'll show you in just a moment. We have the backup of the SD card, which was, it'll back up again in 7 hours. And also we have the USB drive, which is currently backing up at this point. So that's constantly going, and we can pause that and let that go. We have a whole bunch of files that have been brought across from there and where it's come from. But the first thing I'm going to show you is the device and some of the settings within the machine itself and the settings within the PocketCloud itself. So you can rename it, as I mentioned. It shows you firmware, the IP address. We have a sharing service, so you can use SMB to access this drive across any network device, across anywhere from a Windows or a Mac machine, or I'm sure you can do this with a Linux machine as well. And it shows you how to do that, and you can reset the username and password if you want, so you don't have to have the same one. You can change that. We have user management, where you can have multiple users that come into here, so you can give them a username and password and then click confirm, and that will go off and set the account up for them. We have remote access, so you can turn that on and off. You can just use this locally. You don't have to have remote access set up on this. We have the hardware on here, so auto power on and sleep settings, and the firmware options. As I mentioned, I'm using the latest version. So we can go and click home, and we start looking at some of these. So there's some common ones up here, which we'll go through some of them in just a few moments and show you exactly what they are. But let's jump to files first, and these are the bunch of files that we've added to this device. So we can start by going to my backup folder, and that has the 2 devices that I've plugged into here, the Samsung SD card and the USB drive. And you can go into these and browse them and see what's been backed up. We have a peripherals folder, so if you plug anything into this, another USB drive, you can do that and browse them from here, and then move the files from here to another device. So we can go here, we'll click Unify Protect, for example, we'll click on the device, and we'll say, okay, I want this and I want to download it, move it, copy it, rename it, move it to your encrypted space. And speaking of encrypted space, we have a section where you can set a password, and you can then move files into this area, and then that is encrypted within this device. We have a favorite section if you want to keep all your favorite files, and then finally we have a recycle section. So if you delete anything, it will go here, and then you're able to restore it if you wish to do so. We have a photos section, which gets organized by date, month or year, depending on how you want that, and that will rescan every time you add more files to this drive. So if you want somewhere to look at that, you can do. And if we click on explore, it will show you all the different types of photos you've got: pictures, videos, screen captures, live photos. So if we click on the settings just here, there's a couple of things where you can rebuild the index of the images, you can add files, and you have some AI settings within them as well. So there's portrait recognition, scene recognition, and geographical location as well. We then move to the apps, and we have 2 apps that are in here. So we have a backup center, which we can go and see the status of the backups and what's happening, and we have remote backup as well. So there's 2 options on here. We can back up from the PocketCloud to other devices, or other devices to the PocketCloud. So currently the functionality allows you to pick a local path and a backup destination, which you can use Google Drive, OneDrive, Alibaba Cloud, and there's another one which I'm not quite sure what it is, so you can go and use those. And same again with the other devices to the PocketCloud. So at this point, we can go and add backup sources, and again, it will be those 4 options. There doesn't seem to be an option to add another PC, which I believe is going to be coming soon, where you can go and back up a machine to this device as well. Then you can use backup timing and preview and create, and that will allow you to back up. We have the download center where you can choose seeds. So I think you can click on this and you can choose this type of file down here, and it will allow you to download them directly into this program. So we're going to take a look at the mobile device, and you'll see it looks exactly the same as what we saw on the desktop app, so you don't need to worry about anything being different between the two. We have everything down here that you can scroll between. If you want, so device, cinema, that will take you to another section. We have photos, and we have files where you can start uploading some of the files if you want. And if we refresh that, you can see that's brought up all the ones that we had on the machine. So we can click home, and we have all the other options on here that we saw. So we can click plus, you can upload photos or others, add a download link, you can scan, or you can add a new folder if you wish to do so. The one thing I wanted to show you on here is we do have iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is the phone I'm using, and we can go and click backup if we want. So we can set the settings backup below 20%, which we don't, backup using mobile data, and it will say backup using this. And we can go and press backup, and that will automatically start backing up to this device over the Wi-Fi, which I think is great for someone that doesn't really generally back up their phone. Having something like this to back up your device and have a copy somewhere else, I think it's perfect. And the last final feature that I'm going to show you is the movies. So we can click on cinema at the bottom. I've got it to scan some of these. I do have some files on here that we can use. So we can go and we can see within the movies, and you can see there's a whole bunch of files in here that we can pick from, but I'm just going to pick the first one that pops up on here, and it says, do you want to play it? So we click play, and you can see right there, just going to turn the volume down, you can see right there that plays directly from this as well. So we don't need to worry about having something plugging into a network. We can just use this, we can browse to it via the app, we can play straight directly from this portable NAS. Once you have the item docked, it's very easy to move your files between them. So what you can literally do is pop it on there, and you'll see it popping up on the screen in a second. You'll see the peripherals pop up, and that should show you, you'll hear that beep right there, which means it's docked. And there you go, you heard that beep, and you saw the peripherals that popped right there, and you saw the peripherals pop up with the dock, and you can see there's 256 gig in there, which is what we have. And at any point you can say, okay, I want this file, I want to move it across to the dock, for example. And you can literally just do that, click confirm, and it moves it across. And in just a few clicks, you can move your copy from the main drive onto a backup drive. Well, the big thing of this is, well, how much is it going to cost you? So for $299, you can get the PocketCloud, and for $399, you can get the PocketCloud and the dock with it. However, if you're viewing this from the Kickstarter campaign, and there's a link down to the Kickstarter campaign in the description below, you have a special price. You can get the PocketCloud for $199, and you can get the PocketCloud with the dock for $289. So if you want to go ahead and get your hands on one of those, there's a link down in the description below, so go and check them out. I hope you found this video useful. Overall, it's a very useful device for creators that are on the go. For me personally, I can go ahead, I can easily get a backup, and there are some new features that are going to be coming soon. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. For now, this is Inside Wire, and I'll see you in the next one.